one of the things you have to understand is that I'm in a salary job, and then my wife, she's in sales.
Right.
And it's not like I can't just work more hours
Right.
and get like X percentage of additional income.
Welcome back to the Cash Flow Podcast, the podcast where we talk about turning properties into profits. I'm your host, Jason Yoss, and today I'm here with my special guest, Jason Fong. Jason, how are we doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you, Jason?
I am doing amazing. And look, super excited to talk to you today because this is on my list of I want to do this. There are things in your life you want to do, and building your own home or ADU, this is something you've done. This is something I want to do, and I know a lot of listeners out there, they're like, yeah, man, why do I got to hire someone to do this? Well, today we're going to talk about you going like, you know what? I'm going to do it on my own.
Yeah. About almost 3 years ago, that's pretty much what happened.
I love it. So let's start with just the basics. Like, so you bought a property, and did you know, hey, we're going to put an ADU here? Like, what was going through your mind when you bought the property?
Yeah, so I bought a duplex near college, near State.
Okay.
And
when was this, by the way?
This was in late 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, September 2018. And I toured it with my realtor, Andrew Greer, and we looked at it, and it was perfect. I mean, I was listening to a lot of Bigger Pockets at the time.
Right.
And this is something that I wanted to establish because I want to have kids, and the amount of value that you can put into this property, you can see it like right there.
Right then and there.
And right then and there.
It was talking to you. So when you got there, it was talking to you.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this is Jason. This is the one for you.
Yeah. Even though one of the units was like just horrible, like just absolutely horrible. Like the pet urine, the walls, everything needed to get demoed and whatever. Even though that was one of the conditions, that it's fine.
You're ready to go.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
What would tell me, like, so duplex, so front house was?
No, it's actually well, they call it a 2-on-1, where
Okay.
it literally is two properties
Okay.
on one property line. Or
Okay.
Property.
So like one is that actual the house that you live in, and one is a structure. What was it, a garage? What was it before?
So then there's two properties, and then there was actually an old garage.
Okay.
It's about 250 square foot garage.
Okay.
It was an old garage that it was just there. It was just there. It was just there. So
that was your, like, that's going to be my ADU. That's
Yeah.
how that's what you had in your mind when you got it.
yeah, absolutely.
Now, again, one of the first questions going to come up is like, so you're a contractor, you're in construction,
Oh.
like what? Like, so what's your normal day job then?
No, I'm actually a design engineer for Caterpillar. Solar Turbines. We're a subsidiary of Caterpillar.
So nothing to do with housing.
No, nothing to do with housing. But I got a degree in mechanical engineering.
Got it.
And so I've been in San Diego for about 14 years.
Right.
And for the first 10 years, I was in development. So I was actually kind of the guys that build like tinkering stuff, test apparatuses, and well, those 10 years we were trying to build a electromotor driven gas compressor. It's kind of in the family of like turbines, like those
Got it.
turbine engines. And
Not some
airplanes
tiny
and stuff.
little thing. Not some
No.
like go-kart. You're huge, massive Caterpillar engines.
Well, we're on their power and gas generation, or oil and gas generation side, and it was like 1,000 horsepower.
Nice.
Gas compressor.
So you've always been kind of a designer, builder. Like you're comfortable working with your hands. You're not afraid to put something together. You can visualize it, put it on paper, and then put it into effect.
Oh yeah. That's pretty much my job.
Every day.
It sums it up.
So you're like,
visualize, you put it on paper, and then you build it.
So you're like, hey, house, no sweat. Visualize it. It's wood. Put it on paper. Here we go.
Yeah. There's a lot of laws, bylaws, and things that even California writes. I mean, there's books and books like how to define what to do.
Like a guide map on doing this. So let me get to that for a second. So you buy the house, you guys move in. Did you start right away, or this is like what prompted like, okay, now it's time to start?
So, yeah, so my wife is Jessie Wright. She's the owner of Real Producers, and she is
Shout out to
absolutely
Jessie Wright.
one of the most amazing human beings I've ever met.
True.
I'm very lucky.
Facts.
Yeah, pretty much what hit it off was when we had children, when we started having children, because we lived in the smaller unit, which is a 2-bed, 1-bath.
Got it.
And then we were renting the 3-bed, 2-bath out as a rental.
Got it.
And it was not enough space. 2-bed, 1-bath. It was about 900 square feet. It was like, there's not enough space. Like, and
Not
then
gonna work.
And when I had my first child, I actually had to wait because I had to wait for permits, and like I got permits, and then my child was born, and then I couldn't start like when my child was born. So I took, almost like probably 3-4 months
To even
until
get started.
to even get started.
Wait, so you guys are living in one in the house, 2-1, you have kids, all of us who have kids, and if you don't, listen up here, you need some room, you need some space. So you're like, hey, now's the time to convert one of that garage into something so we can have more room, something else, maybe a workshop, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, but you did it on your own. Like, what was the deciding factor? Why didn't you just hire somebody? I mean, that's going to be the question, right? Jason, you're obviously a tinker. You can work with your hands, but why did you not hire out someone to do this? Why did you decide to take the project on your own?
Honestly, it's about cost. At the time, I mean, you're staring down cost for a new child.
Right.
You need to get this thing built. And then I did get a quote from a builder. He quoted about 175. That was just the house. There was nothing else, like landscape.
Right. Just the basics.
Nothing. This is just the basics, just to get an ADU. And man, I mean, one of the things you have to understand is that I'm in a salary job, and then my wife, she's in sales.
Right.
And it's not like I can just work more. I can just work harder, work more.
Yeah, I'm gonna find that money under the couch somewhere.
I can't just work more hours,
right?
And get like X percentage of additional income.
Makes sense.
My wife, she can go out and sell more and get additional income. So it's very different. And so when we talk about like, oh, there's this extra cost, like, man, I'm gonna have to get a loan because I can't just work harder. But that loan, if I have this little app on my calculator for loans, it really tells you what the true cost is.
Right.
And with the percentage and then the down payment, you're looking for the next 15, 30 years, you're looking at like 200 something plus.
$200,000 plus with loan, down payment, interest, and that's before you actually. What if there's more that goes into it? What if you need X? What if you need Y?
Changes, summaries, changes to the plans, which I had, and yeah.
Well, that Jason, so that makes sense. Cost is obviously a big driver, and you said it right. Like, hey, like, oh, and by the way, I also had a new baby, and soon there was another baby on the way. So you're like, I'm gonna do this on your own. Let's start with the first thing you did. You talked about it before. You got plans. What does that involve? How did you tackle this?
Yeah. So the first thing you do is you get drawings.
Okay.
Yeah, you got drawing. You either get an architect or a couple of draftsmen that knows the routes through the city.
Mm-hmm.
That's your first step because you need drawings to tell the city what you're building.
Right.
And then the city approves it or disapproves it or whatnot. But they kind of go back and forth.
And how long?
I didn't touch that.
How long did that take, like start to finish? I know you said it was a couple months before the city said, "Okay, we'll allow you to build whatever you told us."
It was like 7 months.
Wow, man,
just waiting.
Could you do anything during that 7 months? Anything at all, or were you just kind of getting ready?
You know, I built a water heater shed.
Okay.
In the meantime, it's a water heater shed. It's literally houses my water heater and water softener. Like it's just a shed, it's a bump, it's a small little bump out. And
That was as most you could do while waiting.
that was literally the most I can do because it wasn't habitable. So it's just whatever.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And that kind of kick-started everything.
Yeah, kind of like got your hands
Your
dirty. Gonna be like,
framing,
here we
you
go, here we go.
Yeah.
So they come back. They're like, okay, here you go, Jason. You're ready to rock. And you took a couple months to get situated. What was the first phase? What'd you do first?
Yeah. So after drawings and getting your permits, 6 months, and took about $20,000
Okay.
before hitting ground.
Wow.
And then you.
So it's not going to be free. Just because you're swinging your own hammer, it's not free.
Yeah, it's not. But you have to make sure your utility lines are correct.
Okay.
And then because my structure was already there.
Right.
But I wanted to also bump out a laundry room.
Okay.
And I have to build a pad. I mean, you have to put a pad in for a laundry room. And I contracted that out.
Okay.
Certain things I have to contract out. Like,
Right.
There's just so much work, the
Right.
amount of people and like the tools, the knowledge. Some things you really do need to contract out.
Got it. Makes sense.
Yeah, concrete was one of them. I
Got
don't
it.
have enough manpower.
It was better
Yeah.
to have a concrete mixer come up to your house versus you wheelbarrowing it in
Yeah.
and do yeah.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, so yeah, that needed to go first. Concrete and your utility lines.
Got it.
So you need a layout. You need to have a good layout of where everything is.
Right.
And that didn't take too long. Probably like 3-4 months
Got it.
for somebody to come and, they had a concrete mixer really pour in with a pump that just pump all the stuff in. And they float everything. They level everything, and that pad was about 3,000.
Right.
I did the plumbing utilities, and that was maybe a couple hundred. Well, probably a couple hundred.
Nice. But you just dug the trench. You had the right measurements. You knew what materials to get. Even if you got some extra hands to do a little bit of digging, you pretty much did most of that.
I actually hired a lot of. In certain times, I hired a couple of people from like Home Depot.
Right.
that
Got some
standing over
people
there looking
labor
for
saying,
labor.
"Hey, man, help me dig.
And
I don't want to be the only
they
one
did
digging."
Great. I mean, they did great.
Yeah.
They just dug the trench, and then I would do all the lines, and then, they'd leave and fill it back. I mean, after inspection,
Right.
They'd
All this time you're getting inspections every bit of the way.
yeah.
Okay.
So when you after you get your drawings approved, the city gives you like almost like a shot card, like
Nice.
like your babies, like they have a shot card.
At least it tells you what to do,
So
right?
it tells you like what to. Well, it tells you like the sections, and then the sign off. They sign it off.
Yeah, makes
It's like
sense.
signing off.
Do you have to leave that card at the property? You just have it in your, like you have it in a drawer. It's like have to be posted somewhere.
No, you just whoever owns it
Got it.
like controls it. So
So
that's
the,
really important.
so the inspector was coming by, signing things off. So now once you got the pad, the utilities in, you had a structure. Like, what were you doing next? Were you doing framing? Did you have to tear down the old structure? Like, where'd you go from there?
Yeah, it's kind of half and half because I had to replace 3 walls.
Okay.
It
So much for
was
having a
ridiculous.
structure there.
Yeah, so imagine this property of this building is like 300 square feet,
Right.
and 3 the long side and 2 short sides. All those walls needed to get ripped out, like just completely ripped out.
Again, so much for having a
Got it.
structure there already, right?
So you have it would have been faster if I had just space and you built up,
Right.
but it was already there,
Right.
and there was so much termite damage, and because it was old, the whole thing was like tilted sideways.
Wait,
Like
the
the whole-
structure was leaning over?
Yeah, so the whole structure was after you tear down, because when you apply stucco, they can do it. They can do it flush.
Right.
Even if your structure is like this, they can do it flush.
A little extra stucco here, and you will never even notice
You
that it's
don't
leaning.
never know.
Wow.
So yeah, it was leaning so bad that I literally had to like tear out all the stucco and all the siding and then push it back. so that I can slap on the laundry ADU frame
Right.
on it.
Got it.
So yeah, you had to demo and then you had to frame. So demoing was like pretty tough because it was just a lot of manual labor.
Right.
Yeah, taking off stucco was no fun. I mean, there's a way to do it. I remember when Jessie was like, I want to try some. She always wanted to try.
Right.
And then she's like, boom. It's like, okay, this is a lot harder than I thought.
It's not just peeling off, right?
It doesn't just peel off. It's
Right.
literally like concrete. On the
Yeah, it's concrete on the wall, on lath. That's right.
Yeah, so that was pretty tough. I think next time I'd hire somebody.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, let me understand this. So you got a structure, you take off the stucco, it's leaning. So how exactly do you get it to lean correctly? Like you don't push it. Like what do you do?
Yeah, you have to take off all the siding because the siding it prevents everything from like moving.
Got it.
Siding and stucco, it's pretty stiff stuff. I mean,
Right.
So you have to take it all up, support it, and then I had hydraulic jacks.
Got it.
I had like three hydraulic jacks with like four or three 2x4s that were like super long, and it would attach to certain points, and then you just kind of pump it up,
Get it slowly to move.
and then it just moves.
Once you get it back on, then you reframe. Once
you get it back where you want, then you just put on the framing walls, your structural lumber,
right, and figure out where your windows are going to be, where your doors are going to be, and then your roof. Tell me about that. Like, did you have to redo the roof, or like you redoing?
I had to tie in. So pretty much framing. So you frame everything after you get the house back straight. You frame everything, and then you make space for your windows, your doors, and once you put the walls up, then you could put your roof. And
got it.
The thing about framing, you have to make sure your roof goes up as fast as you can, because if it rains, it just ruins everything. It just ruins everything, man.
Good point.
Yeah.
How long did this period take? Like, obviously, it sounds like a lot of work involved, including the roof. What was that time frame?
Yeah, framing demo took a while. You're looking at like 6 to 9 months, I think.
Seems like quite a bit of a piece.
And then roof, another three like framing, roof, sheathing, and inspections and tile. You're looking at a good year just doing all that.
Got it. So we're
a good year.
7+ months in permitting, then doing your basic, your foundation, and your utilities, and then getting the framing. We're in there 2 years already. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're almost 2 years.
Yeah.
But at least you got a box now.
Yeah. Once you get the framing inspected, it goes relatively quick.
Okay.
Within the last year and a half, or last year, once you get drywall, insulation.
Got it.
I mean,
and they check everyone, right? Like so you got
every
a box.
Step,
you're doing drywall. They're like, hey man, got to check that out.
Yeah, every step they'll check. If you go too far if you go too far, they'd have you tear it down.
Oh, sorry, pull that out. I can't see it.
Because like the plans dictate pretty much everything that was approved.
Right.
If we ever get into the weeds, you can see. But there's certain things you have to meet, and
got it.
The plans show it all. But for code, like electrical code, plumbing code, those you can look into the books, like NEC code for electrical. It's a stack. I mean, certain things, like when you're doing something, like how many outlets on each wall, how many, like how far they sit from the countertops, like everything's kind of detailed, but you have to kind of know where to look.
Right.
And there's a California building code book, which is online, and it's like huge.
You just go to your section that you're working on and go like, hey, I need to know
just
about
control,
this, that, and the other.
Control F, and then you type it in. I was like, oh, okay, these points right here. Yeah.
So you got your box, now you got your walls up, and you said your interior utilities. At this point in time, I'm imagining like this framed in, drywalled in, just box. When did you start doing the floors and the cabinets and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's always top down. Always
Okay.
finish from top and then work your way down. Yeah, after framing, utilities are put in, inspection, insulation, you can get that checked off, and then after insulation, then you get your drywall.
Got it.
After drywall, mud, paint.
And talk to me real quick about drywall, because I'm really curious about this. Those sheets are huge. So did Jesse help you put them
Oh,
up,
yeah.
or like what? How exactly were you able to?
So
Did you hire people for that as well, or what's the?
So I did spend like 10 grand on tools. Did I mention that?
Wait. $10,000 on tools.
Yeah, and all sorts. Like during this whole process, my mindset was, is this tool gonna make my life easier?
Right.
Yes, I'll buy it. I don't care. Just buy it. I have like
Thank you, Home Depot.
man, I spent so much money on Home Depot. It was wild. I mean, I after the project, I ended up having like 6 saws,
Six
hand
saws.
saws, 6 hand saws. Like, and they all do different things, like
Right.
cutting concrete, cutting metal, cutting wood. Like I had 2 of the same one because when I was doing the roof, I had to cut stuff on the roof, and also I had to cut stuff on the bottom. But you couldn't like, if you
Go
do
back
a
and
measurement,
forth,
what are
yeah.
you gonna do? Put it on the ground and then like
Yep.
dolly it up? Like, no,
Made
way,
more sense
dude.
to just leave one
You-
saw up here and one saw down there.
One saw down there.
I
Oh,
love
it's like
it. I love
$150.
Listen, if you
So-
want to know why contractors have a ton of tools, like this is the reason. Like there you go. That makes sense.
If it makes your life easier, like I just got it. Like there's this pretty much drywall dolly. It's like you can put the whole sheet on,
Right.
and then you just
Hoist
reel
it up
hoist,
right
it
there.
just hoists it up. It
2
just-
people carrying it is now the drywall hoist.
Yeah, you just put it up, and it like sticks. You know,
that's
you can put pressure on it where like it just sticks on, and then you
Like hands.
and
Like
then
pushing
you
it
have-
on.
And then there's this drill that's like, it's like automatic. It's like fed. It's almost like a cartridge that you feed,
Right.
and you just pop them in.
Oh, your
So-
drywall screws.
Yeah, you just one.
That's
just-
awesome.
And it went by so quick. I mean, it.
You're like, I'm going to do drywalling in
I
the
don't-
future. This is
No.
awesome.
No, but yeah, it went by so quick, and
So-
I mean,
So now that you've got a lot of this stuff, what made you pick the final finishing pieces? Like, how did you get a design? Is this part of your plans? The way you were laying out the kitchen or the bathroom? I mean, I've seen that shower; it looks amazing.
oh yeah.
How did those pieces come into play?
Man, probably like a day or 2 before we put it on.
All right, babe. Here's what we're going with. You good with this? I'm good with this.
Yeah, I know I wanted a tub because we didn't have a tub with the kids and stuff.
Right.
But I wanted something that lasts. Like certain things, like the great thing about this is like once you decide like, oh, I want this, okay, let's do it. I don't have to. I don't have to plan that far in advance.
Right. You'd have to call somebody, do a change order, or kind of talk
No.
about. You're just like, hey, I'd like to go with tub A. What do you think? Yeah, let's go with tub A. Let's do this.
Yeah, we were looking at first. We were looking at getting like a spa tub with a bunch of nozzles and stuff. It's like, oh man, I have to clean every nozzle. It's just gonna get gunky. It's like, no, let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, certain things that you kind of like have to think about, and then, but yeah, everything was pretty much like on the fly. I mean, I'd ask friends and family like, hey, how does this look? How that look? Like, and they would say, oh yeah, that looks great, or oh, I wouldn't do that. But yeah.
Let me kind of wrap this up with a couple of things. I know. Let's talk about challenges, like learning lessons, takeaway, like some of the biggest ones, such as like I know you just said here it's cool to do it on your own because like you could just choose if you want to do
Yeah.
X. I'm going to do X.
Yeah. A big challenge was time management. Yeah, with one kid, I mean, pretty much when I was doing it, we had one kid to like raise, and I'd work, and then during the time it was COVID, but where I worked, I was working development. There was no work from home. There was no work from home.
So you're going to the office
So
and coming back.
I'm in a lab. I'm actually in a lab that I built.
Nice.
And then during that time, I actually built another lab. Like, so there was no, I wasn't working from home. And pretty much right after I get home, I would take care of we would like take care of the kids here and there when we can, or we'd have a nanny
Right.
come in for X amount of hours, and then we'd put them down and stuff. And then after they sleep, then I put on my big boy pants and then go to work. And I worked till like midnight, till 1 o'clock every day, dude.
Wow.
And that was the only way to like get this done, because
Right.
if you didn't have good time management, nothing would get done.
Got it.
And then things about like doing things later, never really. You can't have that mentality. You have to do everything like now, because you don't know if later is going to happen.
Right. Right.
Yeah. That's one of the big challenges.
Overall, cost-wise, we talked about, hey, with financing and everything, it's going to be over $200,000, maybe even $250,000 for just this, 300 square foot ADU.
Yeah.
How much did it end out costing you with the materials, the tools that you bought, and your professionals? How much did it really come out of pocket cost you?
I'd say about $75,000. That includes the cement that was poured on the perimeter.
Right.
Yeah, like so the cement poured around the perimeter was like 15.
Right.
Drawings and permits 20. So that's already half your cost.
Right.
Honestly, the materials are cheap compared to labor, dude.
Wow.
Like
skilled
tradesmen and labor is like so expensive.
And we talked about this before, but there's a reason that quality skilled tradesmen get paid what they do. There's one thing about people who don't know what they're doing, and you got to be careful.
Shout out to all the tradesmen. You guys do some crazy stuff, man. Every day in, day out. Like it's I mean, you have to be thought out thoroughly,
right?
And all the things that they do have to be thought out thoroughly. And the things they do, it's tough. It's not that it's hard, like changing a pipe. Anybody can change a pipe, like if it was right here.
Right.
But let's say it's like 5 feet down to earth, and you have to change this pipe. Like,
right.
How do you do that? Or if it's in the attic, you have to do some electrical work.
Or if you do it wrong.
Yeah, or if the space in the attic is like, I don't know, 1 foot by 4 feet.
Yeah. How are you getting up there?
How do you literally have to get yourself down like this and scoot in. And like the line that's coming in is like right around the corner or something. And
it's amazing some of the things they do and how they get it accomplished. And that's why I'm so excited to hear that you did it on your own. I mean, that's, like I said, bucket list for me. Like doing something like that is amazing. I want to ask you one final question here. Obviously, one, would you do it again? And two, like, if you were going to do it again, what's maybe one thing you'd change?
Honestly, I'd absolutely do it again. I mean, one of the great things was like I did it with my son, like growing up. And like he was just like, "What's Daddy doing? I want to do what Daddy's doing." And he's like, I have so much video of him doing things, like him participating. I mean, like knocking down the clips for tile, like putting holes in my insulation with my tool, like just drilling. He's just picking up a saw, just too heavy for him. Like it's so fun. Like it's so cool. Like seeing him like try to do things.
That's amazing.
And I mean, it'd be great if they were a little older and then we just build a house together.
Do it together.
Yeah.
In the meantime, cool. maybe a couple other helping hands, for some things. That's awesome. Jason, I really appreciate you we barely scratched the surface, because looking at some of those photos, you had 200 plus photos, and we're going to include some of those in the podcast. Yeah. It's just amazing what you were able to accomplish. And like I said, super excited. Props to you for being able to knock this out, man. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Jason Fong, my guest here. Make sure you tune in to our podcast, Cash Flow Podcast, where we talk about turning properties into profits. Jason, thank you, brother.
Oh, yeah, for sure.